to another session of the Concord Nilamananji. My name is Molly. I'll be your DM for the day. As our heroes walked through the thick jungle of the now revealed island home of Nilamananji, the Emerald Dragon, Ifef, the small emeraldkin that kept pace with them and hid bravely during the conflict with the Castor and the Goliath ambushers. He starts to ramble on about what happened before. He says, Rilamunta, home and hearth, was only 3 nights ago when the giant struck. A torrential rainstorm appeared out of nowhere on a clear, dark night. Before we knew it, buildings began to explode, deafening thunderclaps and invisible bursts of force ripped through our town. A few of us took to the jungles. The rest of us got ready to fight. A massive giant wielding a scepter that still makes me shudder to think of walked through the fighting. She drove right up to the edge of the volcano and challenged the matron in her own lair. I heard the giantlings call her Hirja. I saw priests and mages among them. Many of them led groups of us into the forest and out of sight. It's pretty clear now what fate befell them. Wonder how many of us are still in the jungle. This necklace, all of them wore some kind of variation on it. Some of them it was axes, some of it was swords. And he hands to one of you a necklace that has an axe with a purple and yellow eye inscribed in the head of the axe. As the party descends into Rilamunta and makes their way over to the cages where they had rescued Zeosug previously, Kendall rushes forward after seeing a body collapsed in one of the cages and still breathing. Laying his hands forward and pouring the obsidian sand into this soul that has not yet met the wheel, Kendall brings him back from the edge. As the party extricates this fatigued body from the cage and drags it over to shelter, a message rings out in Aylin's head. Private Aylin, I have to watch Norakel here. I haven't heard from Herbalar. What's going on? We haven't a scouting report in weeks. Where are you?
Okay. So, here's the deal. The way that sending works is that the only thing that we can do to respond is for specifically Aylin to send up to 25 words back. What was the name of that person again?
Norakel.
To Norcal right now. So I'm going to assume that Aylin is not going to be able to consult anyone else before she responds.
Yeah, so I'd say let's say what as the 3 characters and 3 players that know best Aylin's mind other than Grumblebee herself.
Yeah.
What do you think she would say back to that? You have 25 words.
Okay. All right. Let's get started.
Break out the brainstorming board.
All right,
So I think she would start with like some kind of like filler sentence, even though she knows she shouldn't, because that's just kind of what Aylin does. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's a story.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are the key points? Let's start with the key points to get across, and then for each of them, would Aylin think to say them? So number 1 is
I don't know if we know what her relationship is with her superiors. Do we? Like, would she lie? Would she be like, everything's fine, don't worry about it?
I mean, even
or
if
is
she
she gonna
like
tell?
Them, like, would it like?
You think she would be super honest about it?
I just don't know what she would get out of not telling them.
Exactly, yeah. Like, what's the benefit of being like, yeah, we're not shipwrecked. We're going to be there on time. See, it's a
Yes, the ship is totally fine.
I don't know if she had like maybe she's on thin ice. We don't know.
So Aylin is not on thin ice, but is definitely not the favored child among House Aerith. I think Grumblebee would hold me in great contention for saying that, but I think that's true.
Okay. So maybe embellish things a lot. We can, I think we...
But remember, everyone is Elend's best friend.
So there's a big storm. That was the first point, right? Mm-hmm. We got shipwrecked.
Well, do you think that Elend would tell the story, or do you think that Elend would answer the questions?
Well, the questions were, where are you? And
where are you?
I haven't heard from Herbalar. Why?
Oh,
we haven't had a scouting report in weeks. The scouting reports would have been Herbalar's thing to submit. And where are you?
I feel like
the first two kind of imply what's going on, and then the last one is where are you?
I just think that it would be like we're shipwrecked, not there was a storm. I understand that that's logical, so not necessarily what Elend would do, but I feel like there's a lot of fun story to tell that's not the storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that it would just So
well, I'm going point by point. Like, so there was a store. Like I'm just trying to figure out what the points are and what would be included, like you said. So like point by point, there was a storm. So the storm is the first thing. The storm led to a shipwreck.
Okay.
The next thing that happened to us was
Mergoblins.
Mm-hmm. And their
Invisible Island.
Wave of interrupting the weave.
Oh yes, the weave. Mm-hmm. The weave wave. Yep. So
interrupting
the weave wave.
Weave says what?
and then number 5 is Invisible Island.
Invisible Island. Then you go to Town on Fire by Giants. And then you go to Emerald Dragon.
Do you think that you would go straight to the dragon or the members of the town?
Members of the town are
Emerald
Dragonkin. And there's a big old emerald dragon that leads the Dragonkin.
Yeah, the dragon is subdued. The dragon is captured.
Frozen in time, I'm fairly sure is what it is.
And then the last thing... Is that just a dramatic effect, or are you saying...
I believe so. Correct? Frozen in time.
Yeah. Being frozen in time.
And so the last thing is... that, there's, I don't know if she would try to be like... There's more... there's, other dragons who are also in danger.
Missing eggs.
Yeah, the eggs.
I would assume she would focus on, the big things that, her generals would want to know. So, the disturbance in the force and the weave.
The Dragonkin were sacrificed.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dark magic.
What's going on with Irrelar would be the last thing.
Yes.
I haven't found him.
Honestly, I don't think anyone mentions Herbalar.
I don't know who Herbalar is.
I think Herbalar is the one other
captain
magical piece of hands that was on our ship.
He was the captain.
The captain, yes.
He was the captain.
He was very rude to you on your first day.
He's probably fine.
I think that might be a good thing for Elend to forget to mention.
All right, so
I think that's something that Elend mentions at the end because she just remembers it at the very end. Don't know where he is.
Oh, maybe the end is and Herbalar, and that's the end.
And it cuts off.
Yeah, let's work 22 words backwards from O and Herbalar.
And Irby.
So let's see. Shipwrecked. That's one word. There should be some filler somewhere.
How would you describe the location we're at?
What's the name of the island that Mergoblins are on?
We're west of the we're south of the Withering Archipelago right now.
Yeah, so you were shipwrecked going to the Withering Archipelago.
Was there a name for the Mergoblin Island, or like some way to like denote it on a map?
It would just I would just call it the Isle of the Mergoblins.
Oh, okay. So if we say that, like NorCal will know where that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Shipwrecked on Invisible Island, right next to Isle of the Mergoblins. It's already like 10 words.
Hang on. Shipwrecked by Isle of Mergoblins.
Well, okay. I think that she should definitely mention that this, like, we're on like an invisible island that is uncharted, but it can be separate if you want.
Yeah, I don't know if she would mention the Mergoblins.
Okay.
No, that's how she refers to that island.
Shipwrecked on Invisible Island.
Shipwrecked on Invisible Island next to Isle of Mergoblins.
Mm-hmm.
The island is no longer invisible. It's now visible.
Okay, and
saw
how?
it.
Okay, first of all,
It's uncharted.
First of all, do you think that if she said uncharted,
invisible.
Okay, but I think that Elin maybe would not stop to think about the very specific implications of saying it's an invisible island.
Okay.
Probably not.
No, I think Elin would be correcting herself midway through talking. Like if
She's
that's
wasting words.
Like
Shipwrecked
Elin just vomits words and then goes, "Let me just clarify what I just said."
Yeah, shipwrecked on Invisible Island near Isle of Mergoblins, formerly Invisible Island. I mean, formerly. We're running out of words quickly.
Visible. How about just visible now? Shipwrecked on Invisible Island near Mergoblin Isle. Visible now.
Yeah, maybe comma, visible now. It's not efficient, but it's Elin. Well, visible now. And then giants destroyed a town and a dragon. Giants wrecked a town and killed and captured a dragon.
Emerald Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giants wrecked town and I don't know if captured is the right word.
Bound.
Yeah,
bound. Yeah, I like that.
And what would Elin say?
Bound sounds like a word Elin would say, honestly.
Yeah.
You can even hear it in the accent. Bound. And they bound the dragon.
We also we found out, I don't know if Elon would include this or not, but we found out that they've also broken the sapphire dragons and the ruby dragons are impaired. That might be relevant information for,
Sapphire down, ruby next.
Sapphire down.
Hey, the sapphire dragons, they're down. I don't know.
They're ready to go.
They're just really down. They're just vibing. The sapphire dragons. They're vibing.
Sapphire down, ruby next.
Took eggs, sacrificed dragonkin.
Okay.
So I'm gonna count how many words I'm at.
A lot.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Without talking about the eggs or the sacrificed dragonkin, just doing emerald dragon, bound emerald dragon, sapphire down. Yeah. Shipwrecked on Invisible Island near Mergoblin Isle. Well, visible now. Giants wrecked town and bound emerald dragon. Sapphire down, ruby next. That's 21.
Okay.
Well, you could just do like sapphire dragons. That would be 22.
Yeah.
No, because then we got to go. And
no, that's what she's saying. Is that it fits.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we feel like if we don't include, it's out of character for Elin? The boats, maybe, or like where their boats are going. or like what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
Where,
the
like-
location of the 3 where the giants are headed.
Yeah, it's a lot of words to communicate all 3 locations, though.
You could just say each one.
I mean, we have like 1 word to spare. We can maybe make a couple more, but I don't know if Elan's doing that in the moment.
What's the word limit? It's
25. We have
25, okay.
1 word, and if we're gonna do O and Herblar, we could,
I don't think Elin would use the word "and," so that gives us another word, because knowing that there's a limit to words, I don't think Elin would use "and."
Yeah.
Maybe she would say Mbatra and not name any of the places. Just like trying to say important words.
Mbatra, and then the name of the giantess who defeated the dragon, maybe, and then Herbalar.
Oh, Herbal, yeah.
All right.
What's the name of the giant wizard?
The one that walked up and fought Nilamananji, that originally Sadudar, is Herja. Hyrrja. Herja.
Herja.
Mbatra, Herja, Herbalar. I'm satisfied with that. It doesn't have everything, but I think
it's pretty good. Yeah,
it's at least they know where we are. It would have been better if she knew where we were going to be, so that she could say that. But I guess then it's a discussion.
Yeah, she doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty true to her character, though. I'm pleased.
Yeah, so it's shipwrecked on Invisible Island near Mergoblin Isle. Well, visible now. Giants wrecked town. Bound Emerald Dragon. Sapphire down. Ruby next. Mbatra. Herja. Ervalar.
Hey, cryptic.
So it goes something like shipwrecked on Invisible Isle near Mergoblin Isle. Well, visible now. Giants wrecked town. Bound Emerald Dragon. Mbatra. Herja. Sapphire down. Ruby next. Ervalar.
Herbalar.
Iconic.
Yeah.
So that happens. You do that.
Elin does that.
Elin does that.
That exact tone.
And then Elin starts to tell us what just happened.
And so Elin will relay that the message was sent, and that this nonsense she just rambled off was actually back to someone in House Era.
They contacted me, and you didn't even tell them where the ships were going, or where we're gonna be.
To be entirely fair,
Listen
there's
to
only
me.
so many words that they can send.
I guess. I mean, it can't be that hard.
Then you try it sometime.
I think you did a really good job.
Thank you. Bubbles, why are you giving me so much lip? Why are you giving me gruff, Bubbles?
I'm just stressed. That's how that was our only opportunity to communicate with people who could rescue us.
Well, maybe
we're all
if they are
just
interested,
tired.
they will send another sending, and then we can explain further.
We all just need to take a deep breath and eat something and have some water, and we're all going to feel better.
And luckily enough, there is a closet full of meat in one of the burned down houses, so you know where the food is.
Excellent.
That's from 2 sessions ago.
Why is there a closet full of meat?
No, your character knows.
Your character would know very
You were
well.
there.
That,
Yeah, that's right.
It's not because of Odd, it's because of Karis.
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember it now. I assumed this was Odd because I forgot about it. But no, this is Karis. Got it.
Not this time.
So as you're down in the wreckage of the village, there is around where the cages were, there's it's sort of a wrecked smithy, but the roof is still mostly intact. There are some residential neighborhoods. There's a well to pull up fresh water, should you need it. And you can look around to see what else is left if you want to roll some dice.
Yeah, let's roll some dice.
What do you want to look for? And where do you want to be looking?
What does the Fef want to look for?
If is interested in seeing if there is anyone else of the people who kind of ran into the woods left. If there's any other survivors.
Kendall's interested in whatever the giants may have left behind. There's a lot happening here, and the kinds of magics they're doing are really very different from things you would normally see. So any information on what they've got going on is good information.
So Ifaf will hand that amulet to you, and as you feel it, like you have felt holy symbols of other gods before, and this one feels very disconcerting. Like you feel as like you sort of experience the way that the sand ripples in your hand when you sort of just kind of generally as the way the obsidian sand interacts with you and your interaction with Kendall or with Kismet. Kindred, holy smokes.
We'll get there one day.
This one, the sand seems to part around it. Your connection with it seems to part around this holy symbol, and it's foreign.
Like, just so I have an idea of like a visual picture in my head, like water off of a hydrophobic surface.
Yeah. Yep. Damn. Hey, Reddy. Hi, Reddy. I'm Isabel. Have you heard the good word of Kindred?
Have you heard the good word of Kindred today?
So you have that kind of water off the hydrophobic surface with this kind of void touched holy symbol, this magic that feels very, very different. What else would you like to look for? And where in the city kind of would you like to look?
I guess this thing doesn't seem to resonate with any of the weave as I know it. I guess I would want to walk around the city a bit and see if it resonates with anything.
Just to see if you feel any interaction with anything?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to interact with the weave necessarily as I know it. But clearly it has some kind of power to it, and that can't be coming from nowhere, and maybe I can figure out some kind of connection to something.
Okay.
I might not be able to. That might not be a thing, but I think that's what Kendall would try to do.
So I say, like, this would take time to walk around the city. So maybe this will be what you do for an hour or two.
Yep. Probably meditating as he does.
So as you're kind of walking around, sitting in different places in the wreck, you're by the well, you're down by the smithy where the town hall might have been. You're in a religious place in a graveyard. As you start to round sort of this area where that seems to be very kind of cut up and bashed up by fighting, you see a lot of this, like a lot of what happened to the Foriolis, these houses that are just shredded, right? In one of them, you find a very thin needle that seems to be running thick with some kind of ink. But other than that, it seems to resonate tightly with what you have. All right. What would the rest of y'all like to do?
Odd is probably gonna try and help Fef look for survivors.
Yeah. Karis also is into that.
Okay, cool. Make survival checks for me to see who you can find, or perception, or investigation, whatever you would most prefer.
Okay.
I think this is a good time to use my new ability.
Are you gonna rage?
I'm gonna rage just a little, just as a treat. I have an ability which says that while I'm raging, I can replace strength for the normal stat for a certain limited subset of skills. One of which is survival, and sorry, wait, which were the ones you said? Investigation, survival, or perception?
Perception.
Okay, yeah. So we'll do perception.
You're gonna do perception.
Or we're gonna do
Odd,
survival. Survival is more fun.
You're
that
gonna
way,
do
okay.
survival. Odd, what
Odd
do you
is
want to
also
roll?
doing survival, and I rolled poorly, so I'm going to use my ability, which is called Fortunate Twist. I finally looked it up. That's what it's
Nice.
called. Basically, I can reroll any ability check after failing it once, and then I can't reroll that ability check again until I have failed it again.
Cool.
So that's how it works. But anyways, so with that, I will have a 21.
All right, cool.
So my strength actually, Karis's strength actually is not that high, but while raging, strength checks are made at advantage. So that's the benefit here. Yeah, so let's see what I get. That's pretty good. So that would be 20 survival.
Okay, so you blow this one out of the water.
We're so survivable. We're hecka survivable.
As you
and
start
for the flavor as well for this is like I'm not going to actually like, you know what, this one's easy. The flavor is I have the zoomies and I can search very quickly and effectively. All right, continue. Sorry.
Awesome. So, so as you the first bit up is so as you're skulking around and this instinct kind of flicks on within you, and you start to pick up the smell of like a potion brewing. In the distance, you pick up like some alchemical smells, and you follow your nose through the woods. Long after your rage fades, you're following this into the woods, and you are able to find two lithe emeraldkin, one of whom is named Zinshe. The other one is Faradi. And Zinshe will introduce themselves, and they're making medicinal potions in the woods. But one of them is an alchemist, and one of them is an herbalist. And as you're in the conversation with them, they will sort of say that they saw some other tracks, but they lost it. They lost the tracks, so they were afraid to take the tracks while the giants were still there. And picking up on these tracks, Odd illuminates the path with this cloud that sort of goes bioluminescent in front of them and lights up the kind of hidden footprints in the broken path. And they find a sort of a spiritualist, a kind of a priest, and another that was military and also was worked on ships.
Are they all, are any of them injured?
None of them are injured. They all escaped in the beginning of the fighting.
Nice. Well, we can tell them that
was there anyone else that escaped with you guys that you know of?
And so Ava will say, no, this is who, I mean, we've only been with each other this whole time. I didn't even know Zinshe was there. But this is we can try to make some signals for others, but I didn't see many others fleeing the city.
Perhaps we should make signals just in case. I think we should all head back to the town. The giants have left, so we should be safe. And we can convene there and decide next steps. And
sort of as you're making your way back to Nilamananji, FF will chat with them and talk to them about what happened, catch them up, and they'll sort of be like, "But why are there elves here? This doesn't make any sense." And it's just be like, just.
But why
we're here now,
though?
Because it's the plot point of this campaign. Come on, obviously.
We have the same question.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I will be right back.
All right, Aelin, what would you like to? What would Elin like to be doing?
Probably looking for any type of means to get off the island. It could be maps. It could be documentation that got left over. Something that gives an idea of what they're doing, where they're going. People that might be good ideas for contacts later, especially if you have to be sneaky. And any kind of boating materials at all. Seeing what, if anything, could be done to either refashion some kind of dinghy, or if there is a boat just mysteriously hiding in a cave, I don't know. Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we have a dinghy.
You have a dinghy.
We're dinghy
do
rich
have a
right
dinghy.
now. Dinghy.
Things like refashioning it to make it a bit more sturdy or whatnot. 'Cause
Seaworthy.
Seaworthy.
Carpentry, smithing, and tinkering are all things that Elin is proficient with.
So, as you start to go down to the port, you will find a couple of documents that are written in giant, seem like very hastily kind of scribbled things, like inner office or correspondence. So we have Mbatra, and so you're reading through the documents, and some of it's just like inventories and whatnot, and you're flipping through that and whatever. And you say Mbatra went to Utina'o, the Isle of the Mithril Elves, to help the giants make better relations with them, because they're renowned metal workers and they want all the extra weapons that they can get.
So Mbatra is like trying to make an alliance, I guess. Is what you're saying?
Yep. Or at least lock down mineral rights.
Mhm.
Got it.
And then the remaining gold is headed north to be traded with the White Maw at the Withering Archipelago. And the White Maw is a name that has some cachet it strikes
Familiar.
a little bit of intimidation into Elin's heart.
Right.
Spooky.
Any papers or whatnot that I think could be useful, I'll roll them up and put them in like a compartment that I probably have like a scroll carry case. Nothing huge, probably just something small for your regular standard issue guard. And then same with the White Maw information, kind of stare at that a little bit longer than some of the other documents, and then roll it up and put it in a little packet as well. Yeah.
So as you start to look around, so as you make your way kind of from this building where they had sort of set up an impromptu officers camp before they abruptly left, you make your way down to the docks, and you're able to kind of scrap together the woodworking tools that you would be looking for. But between all the different workshops that you'd find in order to be able to do any woodworking, should you want to do so, or wood carving. I'm so sorry.
No, it's carpentry, not wood carving.
Carpentry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, carpentry. So it is building.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on my carving details. You know, my flowers aren't the most professional, but they're beautiful.
And so you find sort of 3 different ships in different kind of disarray, and you know that you have the wreckage of the Foriolis and the dinghy. And if you want to make a carpenter's check to see what you would think about getting something seaworthy.
Right. What kind of check would that be? A roll? My D20.
D20 proficiency, and I would do intelligence or wisdom.
I think. All right. So we'll do proficient adventure, intelligence. Well, it's not super high, but let's see what it comes out to. 11 to 13, and then intelligence versus wisdom. Let's see, wisdom. 6. Hold on. 11, 13, 15. 15.
All right. So with the 15, you earmark things in your mind, and you can get enough stuff together for not like the shiniest vessel, but you sort of got like, all right, this is dry enough. Like there's enough like worthy material here. There's some stuff in the burn town, and you're able to get not as big as the Foreolus, but something that could get you a good grip farther than the dinghy could.
All right, yeah.
So it would take, you think, working alone, it would take like a month. But, if you had a team of people with more experience, it would be different.
Yeah. So I will be as strong as I am. I will slowly be gathering materials that are of a lighter weight together, and then kicking heavier things, pushing them in the sand, while the others are doing their thing until they come back.
And once we come back, though, you'll have good news.
Yes.
So probably the first person to wander in will be Kendall, and you'll see the first thing that Kendall will see is Elin just sort of diving into the ocean and pulling wood back up, just really getting in there for the wood, and pulling different shipping materials up, some rope, some wood, and you just see him see her diving and pulling, and it's mesmerizing, almost.
Until I get to the shore, and then I have to actually pull the heavy thing, and no longer have the tide to assist me, and then it looks probably a little less graceful, but it's still very majestic.
Though Kendall will not join you in the water, but he will actually go up to you when you come up to the shore and try to help you bring things in.
Wonderful. Hair is sort of sticking everywhere. Might have to actually untie it for once because it's getting all over the place. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Are you? What are you doing?
Well, you all were doing your thing, and I realized we got to figure out if we're gonna be able to get off this island. And there's a lot of ships here, and there's some wrecks, and drag it to the left. We gotta go left. Over there, I've got I got a little bit of a pile. You see all those goods. I'm separating them out. I think I could actually put together, not quite like the Foreolus, but maybe somewhat similar and smaller, not quite as peak, but it would take me a while. Do you have any ability with hammer and nails, schematics, or anything like the sort, by chance?
No, not as such, but I can pick things up fairly quickly. If you want to start teaching me a couple of things, I'm fairly smart. I can pick things up.
Yeah, I could. If I show you, you could follow the directions.
Yeah, I can follow directions, and if
perfect.
you tell me how things work, I can probably figure it out from there.
Yeah, as long as everybody can kind of follow the same belief. If they
don't have any experience, but if there is someone leading me, I'm sure I can do something.
Yeah, a little bit more than your basic ship repair. You probably took before you got on the ship in the first place. Yeah. But as long as everybody else could do the same, instead of a month of me doing it by myself, we could probably cut some time off that and get ourselves off this island.
Yeah. Okay, so that sounds reasonable to me.
Are you particularly strong by chance? Because this is really
no.
All right. So then, what I would suggest, because I'm not strong either, is take that end of the rope and tie it on that end of the board, and then I'll take this side, and you take that side, and then we just keep pulling.
Okay.
And this is the Elin and Kendall.
Just one moment, Elin. And he lifts his hand up and just kind of makes a stroking motion in the air over where on the same level of where your hair would be, to prestidigitize your hair to look like it normally does. All right.
Can you do that multiple times? Because I'm gonna have to dive.
Yeah,
back
that's
in.
nothing. That's nothing.
Oh, all right. Oh, perfect. All right. Yeah, well, I look fabulous right now. I'm about to go mess it right back up again. But thank you very much.
Yeah,
Fabulous. For the
I know
next
that
2 minutes
your
of us
appearance,
sweating this board across the sand.
your appearance is very important to you. I know this, so I want to help, and
I
I will help
appreciate
with
it.
this
I
as best
appreciate
as I
it.
can. I am not strong, but I will try.
I am personally fine with a private hairdresser. Thank you. I can't pay you with anything but sand right now, but maybe a coconut if I get up that tree later.
Kendall officially the hairdresser of the Foriolis. I think this is canon now.
Nice.
Kendall Weisland is.
This is going to be like the
not-
3-Eolus
Oh
or like
my
the
God.
2-Eolus.
I was just gonna say that should be the name of whatever ship we make, the 5-Eolus.
The Foriolis.
It's less than the 4-Eolus though, so I'm going the
But it's
3-Eolus.
new. It's the inheritor of the will, you know.
Uh-huh.
Could be.
There was
So
probably already a
as-
3-Eolus.
It'll be
There's a
son of
3-Eolus.
Foriolis.
You would all know that the 1 to 100 Eolus are famous ships within the. So
True.
as you're sort of working through this, and Kendall is repeatedly drying your hair.
Between
moral
dragging
support.
and diving, you know, it's
Doing
like
his
I
best.
dive, I get my hair did, I drag, I dive.
Yeah,
my hair
Kendall's
did, I
not a
drag.
strong man.
It's
-1 in
alright.
strength. He is doing his best.
You know,
pretty much every time
That's
you
all
go
that's-
under, he he's like holding up his composure, and then you go under, and he goes.
it's all about effort. It's all about effort. You know, you may not have the skills now, but as long as you are trying, I have faith that Kendall will one day just have the strength to really, you know, do the thing.
You have faith in strange things, friend.
So
Everything except Kindred, yes.
as you sort of go through this this extended Baywatch-esque flotsam reclamation project. I don't think Pam Anderson ever did that, but hello, we have a new script. We see kind of descending from the path that you had seen these giant crude wagons driving the mud apart just a few hours earlier. It's still the same day. You see descending a group of not only you see your favorite barbarian and your favorite smoky mischief maker, as well as a cadre at this point of 5 American.
We didn't bring the one that was healed.
Oh, I assume that you were going to let him recover. You wanted to bring them along?
I didn't want anything. I just whatever that person wanted to do.
I think that they're probably catching a nap, but
Okay, I think I agree. I am with you on that.
Yeah,
I feel like you do see, as you see them coming into view, you see Odd like really mother henning, like flitting around from person to person. There's a lot of like crowding everyone together and keeping them on the path.
I'm assuming I'm somewhere between dive and getting my hair redid, so just toss a bunch of wet curls out of the way. See, Kendall?
Elin, you
That's
look like
why-
a majestic beached manatee.
What?
Yeah, he tried.
This is clearly said. This is
You
clearly
say
said
that-
as a very sincere compliment.
You say that trying
This is in character.
that is trying.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ozzy. I didn't know that I looked like a manatee. I'm sorry, I've gotten distracted by your attempted compliment. Who?
and they'll introduce
These-
you. Ava, Ernie's, and Shay Faradi.
Ernie.
Got it.
Ernie, yeah. Ava.
A-S. I think there was an F. Are they coming with us?
She's a shipbuilder.
Coming with us where?
Which one? Who? Of the
Yeah,
which one's the shipbuilder?
This-
Ernie.
this,
Ernie is the shipbuilder.
I will
Ernie
grab Ernie by
was
the
a
shoulders.
spiritual leader. Ernie's
Ernie's the
spiritual
priest.
leader.
Which one's the ship leader?
Yep. He's the leader of the cult of the rubber ducky.
I accidentally grab Ernie first. You build ships.
And he says,
it's not good
he's
with
got
faces.
he's got a little plasticated waterfowl, and it just goes honk honk, and that's it. Nothing happens. And then a kind of broad-shouldered Emerald Kin will step forward and will say, I'm Ava. I can help you with this reclamation here. Let them tend
You're
to
the
the wounded.
You're the shipbuilder, not
Yeah.
with the thing. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Whew! Sorry, Duck. I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah. No, he's not. He wasn't well before, and really just sharp as a whip with magic when you can get through to him, but rubber ducky all the other times.
Good. Rubber ducky. Let's talk about reclamation. Yes, you build ships.
Yes.
Wonderful. Kendall, this one builds ships. That will cut down the time. I found that we have enough materials to actually build a ship. A little bit smaller than the one we came on. Where's Oddball? Do you have any skills with hammers, nails, building?
Not usually allowed to touch tools, but I can draft up some plans for you.
You know what? Actually, I need the schematics for something at about 2/3 the size of the Foreolus. Can you do that for me? Can you rescale everything downward?
Do you think maybe there are schematics for the Foreolus back over in the part of the wreck that survived?
Oh, there she is.
That's a
killer
idea.
Like lost our friend here. You have muscle.
Smack
I know you do. Can you do anything else besides drag wood?
I can do a
Are
lot
you
of
talking
things.
to me?
No. Sorry, I'm talking to my friend here, Karis. Karis is particularly able to carry some of these heavier materials better.
I'm not even that strong. You're all just weak.
Okay, you know what? I could leave you here on this island with that attitude, okay? So,
Yeah.
Kendall has been doing a wonderful job dragging this thing across the sand with a little bit of ingenuity. We don't need your insults right now, Karis.
We are trying very hard.
Zooming this wood out of the ocean back onto the shore. Could you do that?
Sorry?
Could you zoomy the wood from the ocean onto the shore?
Zoomy? What does that even mean?
I don't know. You run really fast.
When you get the
you are zooming on.
See, do we need a dictionary now?
All right. We need the wood from over there.
It's in the water. And you go in the water, but you're gonna be like that. Just go dive, get some wood, work out your tensions, and let Audrey write their schematics. All right, let them be useful.
You see Karis look at the water for a while and just kind of like.
She's got a longing stare. She's staring longingly at the water.
So, we brought a lot of friends. Maybe they're good at swimming. I don't think this. I could go back to the.
You've got the stronger muscles.
Oh, I don't know. Our new friends are pretty strong too. I imagine.
All right. I got an idea. Here's how we're going to do this. It's not important.
They wouldn't have let me go on the, be in the long.
Yeah, exactly that. They wouldn't have let her on the ship.
I passed a swim test before I got on the boat.
Sure did. Yeah. Okay, how about this? I'll go dive in, and when the wood surfaces, you just grab it. How about that?
Okay.
Can you do that for me? Yeah. Can do that. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna go dive. I'm just gonna go. And then Elaine's gonna dive in the water, and as she's in the water, like, oh my god, what did these people train in? All of them. I don't understand. They're on a ship. They're supposedly in their little houses of militaries. I don't understand. I'm just gonna dive. Focus on you're not breathing in the water, Elin. Get the wood, bring it out. Get the wood, bring it out, and we'll fix your hair later.
So, this will go on for the first day. You're able to reclaim the requisite parts and the gum from the jungle, from the trees and the local forest, to kind of seal what you would need. So you're able to get all your resources together over the first day, and you pick, kind of working with Ava, you're able to select the most seaworthy of the 3 destroyed ships, and you will start to work. It'll take you, with the schematics, with everything all together, it'll take a week to get the ship fully functioning.
Do we have food?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Dried meat
So
in a
they
closet.
will be, because you were able
Closet
to kind
meat.
of
Sustain
locate.
us for the week.
You had so much closet meat.
So much closet meat.
So much closet meat. Iconic. Please Twitch Prime for closet meat. Subscribe, ring the bell, like the video, comment and tell your friends, share this everywhere for closet meat.
Make
Thank
an
you so
account
much.
called Closet Meat and then comment, and we'll.
Tweet
Comment,
us,
like,
tweet us
subscribe.
with closet meat. Please. Do you dry meat at home? Tell us about it in the comments below.
Have you ever tried to do it in a closet?
There you go. That is.
That's
Have you ever,
exactly.
and do it, and by do it, she means
We need no context. No context
Nothing.
is
No,
necessary.
that's it.
Nothing.
Have you ever tried to do it in a closet?
Do whatever. Do anything. Play with a light bright.
With your meat?
Cure meat in a closet. So you will take the dawn of the net. So other than that, so like Zinshe and Ferrari will get set up. We'll set up sort of a makeshift camp, and we'll start to making different kind of making medicine for the downed person and helping him recover, and doing Ernie will do some burial rites for the people who are about, and you'll help him with that throughout the day, assuming. And then Ava will be helping you on the first day, all of that stuff. Anything else you want to do on the first day before you call it a night?
I will probably check with Oddball about those schematics, because I don't know if I've schematics. I just know that according to the descriptions of in my proficiencies, I know we can build something like the Foriolus, but smaller. So that's why I asked Oddball to scale it down, since they can do probably the math faster. And then I'll connect head with Ava, Oddball, and I, and then we can see if we can make it more efficient, or cut things out, or do something different.
Okay. Make a what tool proficiency are you using for that? Or just
I would probably be using.
Odd.
Oh, sorry.
For my schematics?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, tool proficiency.
Hey, listen. I'm trying to make these tool proficiencies that are renownedly bad in 5th edition. We're gonna make them worth something here.
I use a lot of them.
Oh, I don't have anything in my. I know I have something though. Let's see.
Can you?
I think
tell
I
us?
have a little drafting kit. Writing.
Okay. So
make tool happen.
Make a. I remember it was part of your background. There was something as part of your background.
But I don't know where it is on my. I'm sorry.
So make a roll a d20 plus proficiency plus intelligence or wisdom. Karis, you had something you were asking?
I just wanted to what are the pronouns of all the dragonkin?
Everybody is non-binary.
And so what are their pronouns?
They, them.
Great.
They, them. All right.
Yeah.
What did you say? Proficiency plus what?
Proficiency plus wisdom or intellect.
Okay. 9.
Okay. Yeah, you think it's going to take a week?
It's going to take a week. I think looking at the damage from the other ship and just the the schematics that I've drawn up in the past for very real things that are not made up or in my head, I'm going to say it's going to take about a week.
Not able to find any corners to cut.
All
Gonna
right,
have to build it.
All right, we know the general area they're going. We just gotta start.
So yeah, so as this goes along, so probably let's do like one thing per day outside of general shipbuilding responsibilities. So maybe we'll just do like 2 things for the whole week. So that because 7 days is a while.
I think the next thing to do is make an expedition and search the Foriolis properly, which means there might be some frogs to worry about.
I think that makes sense. For no other reason than it would be good to know what ended up happening to the captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's a whole that's a whole elvish person that we don't know what happened to them.
Yeah. So
Unless they're in Batra.
We don't know. We don't know.
Dun.
There's no way to know until we check.
No way to know. So probably so this will be like
there's no way to know.
Oh.
The wordplay.
So on the 3rd day, you make your way back to the wreckage of the Foriolis, and you do. There is not all 4 toad creatures in there. It seems the wreckage seems to have dried out, and they're less intrigued by it. But there is still one in there. What will you do to dissuade toad aggression?
Not my category.
We have all day, so Otta's probably just gonna
am I there?
Take a break while
I'm
Odd
just
takes
hanging
care of
out.
it. You're there.
Slowly
You can
inching
take care of the
closer to
frog.
them. Yeah, I'm slowly inching
okay.
closer so that they get comfortable with me, so that I can make detailed sketches, and also probably making comforting croaking noises so they feel at home.
I would love to ask you to make comforting croaking noises, but I will not ask you to do something that I will not do. So.
You want me to make a croaking noise? I'm really good at it.
Can you croak a lullaby?
Yeah. Croak me a river.
I can hear it.
Do you feel comforted?
That's it.
I feel very comforted.
All
I feel
right,
soft and warm in my heart.
Yes.
Cool. So,
so make an animal handling check for me.
so I'm helping by
advantage?
making croaking noises.
You get advantage for a not character Adorablue.
Not character, exactly.
That's great because I did not roll well. Good news. All right. Much better. All right. 17.
Cool. So you're able to get this giant toad after having danced with them the first time. You're able to get this giant toad out and kind of into the woods. You between croaking and encouragement.
Subtle bobbing.
Do we find any schematics or
So-
other useful supplies?
So you're looking for supplies within the Foriolis, other things. So looking for like boat repair stuff.
Well, I mean, if we had, if you know, yes, but I'm like, maybe the Foriolis and somewhere inside the boat had the like schematics of the boat in case we needed to fix something, and then we could use those schematics.
I think Kendall would actually go to Captain Urvalar's bunk, the captain's quarters, first. Probably saying something about looking for schematics, but he's actually looking for any trace of the captain.
Okay. So you will see. Okay, so let me resolve the hold first. And then we'll resolve the other bit of it. So the hold. You will find you'll find like supplies that will take like a day off time, so you'll be down to 6 days. As far as like schematics, maybe there will be like a how-to on boat repair There'd be like a emergency survivalist manual on like how to patch a hole or something. But the anticipation would be that like Jenkins would be used, to do that type of stuff. The hands.
Oh, we have the hands.
We have the hands.
I have the magic hands.
I know that. Nobody's done anything with it.
I know. Well, I was
forgot.
planning to bring it up. I didn't forget. I was planning to bring it up when we like had the boat, and I was like, now we have a boat with hands. I didn't know they could like build stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all I knew was that like they could be helpful on a boat, not that they could also like repair and help build a boat. So, okay, maybe Karis doesn't know this either. So if somebody else wants to think of that.
Well, it would be indicated like in the manual.
Oh,
the
yes,
manual
perfect.
would be
In the
like
manual.
a reminder to like, hey,
yes.
don't forget about Jenkins.
Oh, you mean like this? And pulls out the stone, the gem that I've had this whole time.
You may just start massaging your back.
I wish I could have that in real life.
So you'll get between those two things, you'll get 2 days shaved off, so you're down to 5 days. So as you go into the captain's quarters, the door. So after everything ground to a halt, you see that there was like the initial flow of water that has dried out.
Sure.
And it is only like make a perception check.
Sure. I rolled on Foundry.
Okay. Could you tell me what it is?
24.
Wonderful. So with a 24, just because for the viewers at home.
And that's a nat 20. So, but
wow.
Doesn't matter outside of combat, but yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we love a nat 20. We love a good critical success. So you will see, you will pick up boot prints. First, you'll pick up kind of Karis from when she ran up with her sloshing galoshes onto the ship and originally found the stuff, and then you'll see a much fainter set of boot prints that will go.
One day we are going to start that band, the Slosh and Galoshes. That's going to be our cavern name.
That will go that go into the space. Yeah, what's up?
What relationship do those? I'm out of character because I haven't been told about this. What relationship do those boot prints have with the like shape changer boot prints that we found here when we first got here?
One and the same.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's Mbatra. It was the whole time.
So,
sorry, the boot prints go into where?
Go into the captain's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not the ones that went off 1,000 feet into the jungle were one thing. They mimic the ones that you followed in the sand.
Ooh.
Oh, the ones we followed in the sand.
Yep.
You remind me real fast about those ones because I've been blanking.
You were not there for that session. That will be why. So when you originally arrived, you saw there was sort of there was the beach, and then there was a kind of a trampled path that seemed to randomly change shape. It was a talon foot. It was a giant foot. It was just sort of randomly.
Oh, and so these boot prints look similar to those boot prints?
To the boot
Are they
prints,
changing in similar ways?
No, and so the boot prints picked up about 1,000 feet down the beach.
Okay.
Okay,
I understand.
Wait. Okay. So the boot prints that Kendall is right now finding are the same as the boot prints we followed to Rilamunta. Are they also the same as the shape-changing ones?
No, the shape-changing ones are just gobbledygook.
Okay.
It's like Aarakocra foot, goblin foot.
But I guess what I mean is, like, do they seem like
the shape-changing ones basically turned into those boot prints, though, right? It's the same path of prints?
No, they sort of diverged, and then these just stopped, and these just picked up.
And they're elvish-sized boot prints?
Yes.
Not dragonkin-sized boot prints?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, as you go through, you will find, so you going through, you will pop open the captain's desk, and you will see that in one of the journals that he kept, you remember the day, you remember kind of a few weeks after you left Tirargid, probably a few weeks before you started, before the storm happened. You remember hearing him crying
I remember
at night a couple times, right?
Mhm.
So you'll see that the journal stops that day, right? And
It stops the day
it seems to
crying?
be about the day that the crying started. And you see kind of what would be customary for House Aerith, the god that would be most associated. So that will be for Illimar, which is the god of visions. You may have Torfiel, the god of mayhem, the goddess of mayhem, and so the god that he would keep a shrine to. And there are the two other multiple gods that would be kind of destroyed,
So
like as though they had been left destroyed and they had been washed out with the tide.
So it looks like it was destroyed prior to the shipwreck?
Yep.
And the last entry in this journal that was before the crying, what does it say?
So it, as you look at it, and you're insightful enough, it seems to just kind of be coating the surface. It's talking about, another flattened island. This is very disturbing. And you actually pick up this, and so it's kind of detailing the most recent islands you've seen with all the flattened greenery.
Right.
It doesn't seem to let anything on. You do get, you do pick up sort of a magical essence from this journal. It seems to interact with the weave somehow.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to hold on to this journal.
Okay. Anything else at the old ship? Oh, so Karis, as you are down in the bottom there, as maybe you're followed Kendall into the captain's quarters, you find this, like, a couple times he had, taken this, had one of the hands hold onto a rope as you had caught a good gust of wind, and he had taken this long, thin bit of wood, and he had grabbed onto this rope and kind of ridden behind the ship, and just kind of like catching the wake of the ship and riding along. And you see it had these two kind of straps where he would stick his feet in and make sure that he didn't lose his grip. And you're sort of looking at it and you're like, you get an idea in your head. It seems to be made of like a fine ethereal isle wood.
Nice. Well, we'll just hold on to that for now then.
Yeah. So you return back. That's kind of one of your afternoons, and you go back to work. And you're probably, this is end of day 2.
Do we want to play? Do we want to role play Kendall telling that to some other people, like
Sure.
that you found Prince or like whatever, and then because we might I don't know, do stuff based on that.
All right. What?
So I was looking around the captain's quarters since we haven't seen Captain Erfalar in some time. And I found a faint set of boot prints going in.
Boot prints?
Yes, very similar to the ones on the beach.
Going in where?
Beach.
To the captain's quarters.
Footprints going to the captain's quarters.
Like the ones on the beach. So that means Urbala was the shape changer.
Maybe? It's possible.
Right?
Also,
if the boots connect to the shape changing footprints.
It's certainly possible. Which would mean that if that were the case, then this is some kind of purposeful.
So it's not actually super possible because you know that these are a separate set of prints. I think I'm having Karis make the same misunderstanding.
Ah,
that I did.
okay.
Yeah.
I honestly, Isabel, got a little bit confused by the whole damn
That's
thing.
okay.
It's possible, but I do not think this is the case.
I knew it. That's in Botra. That's why there's a giant name. That's why the giant knew about them. That's why they came. That they were on the ship.
But I do not think this is the case because these boot prints, they are different. They diverged from the shape changers boot prints.
Oh, you mean the other boot prints on the?
Yeah, those ones.
There's two sets.
Yes, I remember.
Which direction are the boots going, Kindle? The ones that you're saying?
I believe they were going inside of the cabin.
So the boots went into the cabin. They went to they opened a you see them walk over to the desk that seems to have sort of slid up against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that a compartment underneath had been opened.
Yeah, so there was this compartment underneath.
Yep.
That was opened.
And something was taken, and then the boots go right out.
And it was empty, and I think there was something in there, but there's not anymore. And then the boot prints, they go out again.
So
that means it has to have been the captain. He must be alive.
Do the blueprints go directly, like, connect to the other ones, or do they, like, disappear and then reappear?
They go down towards the beach, and you would see that the tide would have sort of washed that away.
So when we found the boot prints originally, we also, like, followed them long enough for the tide to wash them away, so we didn't see where they eventually ended up.
Yeah.
They were headed along the beach, generally towards Nilamananji.
Yes, but that's all we know.
That's all you know.
So Captain Ervalar may be among those captured.
Captured? Do you think they brought prisoners with them?
I thought they did. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I think out of character, I think they did bring some back with them. I think we saw that happen.
Yeah, I thought that they did because they were capturing them in the cages, and then they were bringing stuff onto the boats, and when I thought I saw the some of the cages go on. Ervalar might have been in some.
Well, we can always ask a wiry friend.
One of the
the giant can. Yeah, he is still alive. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, with all the supplies we're using, feeding them and keeping them alive, they better be useful.
That's a little cynical. It is kind of a reward in its own right to keep people alive, is it not?
Yeah, you're right.
And there is another thing that is interesting. I went to go look for the captain's logbook because, captains keep logs. And I found this journal, and he takes it out and he pages through it till the end. He goes, did you hear there was one night before the storm where it seemed like someone was crying in the captain's chambers. Did you hear that?
I don't remember. I think we all rolled perception in the first session to see who hears the crying. I do not remember if I heard the crying.
Well, that happened, and I heard it. And I know I heard it, but I could not get into him. My knocks were ignored. And I was looking at the journals. I was looking at the journal, and the entries end there. On that day. Not on the day that we were shipwrecked. On the days that he was crying.
What? They stopped on that day?
Yeah, and there is something else. You know how we all keep the shrines and altars to our gods when we are away, yes? He had one, but it was destroyed. And it was not destroyed by the storm. It was destroyed by something before the storm.
More and more clues.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Hmm.
Sure, yeah. So,
I don't know what any of this means. I just know that it is all very strange.
should we maybe follow the footprints that lead into the woods and see where they go?
What else can we do?
Sure.
If the boots don't transform, right? Because remember earlier on, they sort of just disappeared in the middle of the beach. How
Yeah.
far did they go?
Towards Rillamunta? Most of the way, I think, before the tide washed them away.
I didn't see these. I just know that earlier the ones I saw kind of disappeared in the middle of the beach.
Well, that's normal for beaches.
Not like towards the water,
Oh,
like walking.
so they just like grew wings.
Maybe, I don't know. This was days ago by now, Karis. We haven't looked at that in a while.
Right, I do remember something like that. So the boot prints didn't disappear in a non-suspicious way. They just stopped in a very suspicious way in the middle of the beach, not close enough to the water to be like washed away by the tide. Is that right, Molly?
Yeah, so you had beach, jungle, into the jungle, 1,000 feet go. Boat coming down, sort of what Kendall picked up on with the natural 20 was sort of muddy boot prints that went in and went out and down off the shipwrecked ship.
I'm asking about the boot prints that we followed to Rillamunta on
Pick
the
up
beach.
1,000 feet down the beach. You had decided, agnostic of whether there were boot prints or not, to walk down the beach.
Yes. But
And you picked up about 1,000 feet down boot prints that were going towards Rillamunta.
So the question is, in the place that the boot prints begin, those ones begin and end, is it weird that they just randomly start with no other signs? Or is it close enough to the water that it's like under the tide line and so it's kind of whatever?
Is it weird that the boot prints that are going into the captain's chambers are there?
No. Is it weird that the boot prints on the beach that we followed to Rillamunta? Because you said
yes, it is clearly strange.
So somebody who can fly came in to take something.
Something like that.
So yeah, someone who can fly came in and took something. So unless Herbalock grew wings since we last spoke to him, then it must have been someone else coming to raid the ship.
And you're thinking on like your studies of religion, and you remember there's this Noxvi is this very famous djinn, and it takes the shape of a red buffalo. And you remember reading it on it, and you say, crimson buffalo gives you wings.
I literally wrote down Noxvi, red buffalo, djinn, and you did this to me? I was like, oh, yes, this is a plot point. Oh, I'm writing it down. I haven't written it down very much until recently, but strange things are happening. Let me write this down. No, it's a freaking joke. It's a freaking joke.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, this
all right.
Are you, Molly?
10 out of 10.
Are you sorry?
Oh my, oh my.
I'm erasing it now. Thanks for that.
She didn't write it in pen.
I did write it in pen, but I have a erasable pen.
You. So, anything else with the ship?
Well, we were all just thinking we should follow the other footprints into the jungle.
Okay. You follow kind of where the footprints were, and they seem to end about 1,000 feet out in the jungle. You don't see any signs of further movement into the jungle. It becomes more and more thick and matted.
Mystery is maddening.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we can go do another thing now.
All right. So, what I think will be a cool way to end this 5 days is aiming for a resource you can make a roll. So like something that you want to bring along on your trip to either Utina'o or to the Withering Archipelago. And what will your character kind of do in the time that they're not working on the ship? What's up?
Do the 6 Emerald Dragonkin want to leave their home?
No, they want to stay and protect. So, and
They're
you'll
still
have
willing to help us make a boat?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess we did help them.
Yeah, we're gonna help them get their friends back, presumably.
I mean, yeah,
maybe,
we saved
hopefully.
2 of them, so.
Ideally.
Saving people is its own reward.
So, with that being said, kind of as the nights go by, Zinshi and Farari will will sort of tell you that they're working on, making some alchemist fire for you all. So they're saying that they're going to have 4 flasks of acid and 4 flasks of alchemist fire. That will be ready for you by the time that you leave. Ernie, by the power of the rubber ducky, is willing to offer you any like cleric-y type things. Ava, if somebody is like looking to like train their like martial prowess at nights, Ava would be a good person to talk to. And Drulo is always down working on the ship with Elin. So in this time that you're interacting with these people, what are some resources that you would want to bring into your next step, and how would you go about trying to put that together on the island?
For that really quick, I just think in character, like, it makes sense for Karis to like go like, furtively ask Ava for help on like fighting, because of all of the kind of just like everything's been haphazard until now. So this can be part of the flavor of leveling up. It doesn't have to change anything.
Sure. And so the night, so is that, you think, like more like fight, like actually like getting into it, like sparring, or like general military preparedness?
It's like more fighting focused. So whatever Ava thinks is the smartest thing.
Cool.
If that's sparring, then yeah, sparring's cool.
And so they will take you up one night. They will take you up to one of the bluffs, and they will have you work on, striking while you're off balance, and they'll kind of have you up against this cliff, and they'll be kind of dueling at you and kind of getting you to sidestep and practice kind of some of those elusive moves.
Cool.
On the second day, you'll get up there, you'll be working with them, and you'll step out into one of the they'll have you hacking at a tree with your ribbon, working at trying to like really lash into the bark and make those hits land. And they're drilling you and working you hard. You're sweating in this jungle heat, something that Karis is definitely not accustomed to. And each progressive night that you see Karis come back to camp, they're just a little bit more dirt and a little bit more lines in the face every night as they're being worked to the bone.
Okay,
Resources. So, Kendall, in your off time from shipbuilding, what are you looking to get together for?
It's a great question.
Actually, wait, let me drop this on you real quick, and then I will go to someone else and come back to you.
Okay.
The needle that you found is a needle of spell rot tattoo, and the spell infused into it is silent image. But you also feel like there is a curse around it, that it's kind of accepting a spell rot tattoo. And it's the needle that contains the ink. And so if you were to press it in your arm, it would give you a tattoo that the next time you like invoked it, you could cast a spell for free. And it's silent image.
Spell rot like WROUGHT or spell rot?
That's
like
what I figured, yeah.
Okay.
WROUGHT.
Cool.
So
I initially thought ROT, and then Molly said it a couple more times, and I realized it was W.
Yeah.
And so that's what that is. But you know that would be, you feel that it would have some kind of character consequence. It's got a bit of a curse. It's got a curse to it. The journal, you will find maybe one night as you're poring over it. What would Kendall do with the journal? Just sort of look at it?
Kendall wouldn't just look at it. It does have a something magic is going on with it, right? He sensed that there was some kind of connection to the weave. He's going to really try to meditate on that and really try to figure out what it is that he's sensing. And if you'd like, I can make an Arcana check for that.
Sure. So, actually, you know what? Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Nat 1.
Wonderful. So one night, as
It
you're
rained.
working on the journal, you're sitting there, kind of. You have a makeshift office set up, and you knock over your ink onto one of the pages.
No.
And as the page kind of turns black, you sort of like, you start to dab it and whatever, and you flip over onto the other side, and you see handwriting starting to form on the other side. And you said, whoever acquired this journal, this is property of House Aerith. Destroy this journal at your earliest, as soon as possible. And it's not like, it doesn't look like it's appearing like an illusion. It looks like it's appearing in real time, and the handwriting seems on point for Alvin script.
Kendall is going to write back into it.
Okay, what are you going to write?
He's going to write, owner of this journal is missing. Need more information.
We'll say, and then, so over the nights, you'll have this correspondence, and this will kind of become a way for you to, no, let's actually do this. So they will write back, and they will say, it's a shame to hear about Captain Herbalar. We heard this from NorCal. And then they'll ask for like who the survivors are. They will ask for location, kind of specific coordinates, what Mbatra means, what do you mean ruby, sapphire, what are you talking about, dragons? And so they'll sort of ask they'll ask a lot of detail based around the mishmash.
Kendall's going to try to give them as much detail as he can.
Okay.
Just the fact that they are kind of puppeting back what Aelin told them is kind of like his confirmation that, okay, these are the people that just sent us sending. So, and Kendall's going to say, we are the survivors, and basically try to detail as much as he can about what's recently happened.
Hello,
yes,
kitten.
That was a kitten that just jumped up there.
We love kittens on this stream. So they will, they will write back, and they will kind of confirm. They'll say, we've been trying further sending spells to you all, but they haven't been working. They've been fizzling. We're gonna then they'll say on the end of the fourth night, they're gonna try a teleportation magic to try to get support to you, or to try to get you back.
At that, Kendall is going to write back. I would be careful about any magic sending whole people here. there are interruptions in the weave occurring.
Okay.
I do not know what that would mean for magic sending a person here.
And then they'll say, all right, we'll just try like a thing first.
Okay.
And so they will, what would you ask for so we'll have this be your thing. What would you ask for from the journal?
What would Kendall ask for? Shit.
All right. So while you're thinking about that, let me go to someone else. Karis, what resource are you looking to get together? What are you looking to bring on the next step of your journey?
Is it going to be easy to have enough food and water?
Yes.
Okay, then come back to me.
Okay. Odd.
Okay. Odd is going to chat with the survivors, looking for information, anything about, like, I'm going to show them maybe the priest guy, the emerald that I got from my conversation with the emerald dragon, and I would just like more information, any information they have on the attrition between the dragons and the giants, and just like generally information on the other dragons. And
so
whatever.
Ernie will sit down and he'll tell you, well, I'll say like, this is like a sign that Nilamananji is looking for help and also is trusting you to get that help. She's a very powerful ancient dragon, and you know, he'll ramble on about how powerful she is, and you'll have to sit there long into the night before he will actually get on to something. The next bit of it is with the other dragons. There's not a lot of communication between them. It was mostly between the sages, and they thought that they were hidden. They had never had interaction with the giants, and so they don't see a reason why the giants have attacked them. Other than, like, he's speculating, like, kind of, if you're sharing, like, the vision with him, that, like, the giants seem to be using the emerald bodies of these dragons as, like, resonating forks for this weave disruption. And
Okay.
maybe that has something to do with that.
And then I want to know, does he obviously knows like of the treasure what was taken? Does it was it just treasure, or did it have some significance?
Well, the eggs were very important. He'll
Sure,
talk about
sure.
We were supposed to, you know, we were birthing 2 wormlings to be able to kind of carry on in Nilamananji's stead. Then the rest, there were obviously very powerful magic items. There were very powerful kind of stuff from the mainland of Urmaret. There were symbols of different jinn and powerful magical items associated with them. But is there like specific things in particular? No, a lot of very powerful things, but none of them stick out. He wouldn't have been someone who would have been privy to what the list was. That would be a Zeosub thing.
Sure. Okay, then, yeah, I guess just collecting information on how I'm going to be able to take care of these dragon eggs when I find them.
And he'll kind of lay out a routine. You know, you gotta get a heat lamp that provides psychic stimulation because they need the connection, the mental connection, and the psionics is important in the development. And he'll go over that with you. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's probably what Odd's doing.
Okay. Elin, when you're not driving in the water and earning hard-earned splinters, what are you doing?
Yeah, when we're not building the ship or whatnot, I'm probably investigating more thoroughly the documentation I found, other than just a glance. Probably committing it to memory in case of the necessity for like infiltration, for example, being able to understand the terminology or the names and recognizing it immediately, and also picking up if there's any like particular coding or something, the way that they're saying stuff, using the House of Eroth's particular skill set of observation. But picking up a lot of that, because I don't know which direction we're going to go.
Elin doesn't have much money, but what she does have is a very particular set of skills.
It's a true story.
So one thing that you will find is that you will decode a bit of these, and you will find mentions of the Vision's Emissary.
The Vision's Emissary?
Yep, and they seem to be sort of like anytime like a big power move is made, they seem to be the ones sort of driving it. Like if there's a very powerful relic mentioned or there's something particularly of high interest, the Vision's Emissary seems to be mentioned.
All right. And this is information that Elin would probably not share until she feels more, it's like confident that what she shares is at all useful to the others.
Okay. Karis.
Okay, so really quick, I would like to know, and we can use in character if you want, but I want to know if the Emerald Dragonkin knew that their island was like invisible and how they felt about that. Like, are they immortal? Like, that sort of thing.
Okay. So who do you want to have this conversation with? Drilo, Ava, so the port worker?
With Ava while we're like taking a break.
Okay. So she'll say, Soft One, we knew that this island was invisible, yes.
And there are
Soft
others
One.
like it for different dragons.
Well, there was not too long ago, there was a worm, WYRM. There was a wormling of Nilamananji that didn't take to it so kindly.
Didn't take to what?
Hiding.
And so they left. And
That's what I believe. I don't think Ernie would tell you that.
Oh, okay. But we learned about so this is a society that's been existing in secret for a long time.
Thousands of years.
Yes. So are you connected to the other secret dragon societies? Are you friends with them?
The sages talk to each other, we assume, but it's not part of my life, no.
Okay. All right.
No,
do you tell stories about them? Like, do you know how many there are or what they're like?
They absolutely would. And they would tell you some kind of folk stories. Molly does not have that ready.
It's okay.
But I can have that be something that we flash back to as I get inspiration for it. And I can tell you some... No, I love that.
Okay.
I sincerely love it. I just don't want to come up with nothing. I don't want to be like, and the blue ones are more calm and the red ones are more angry,
Okay.
But yeah.
So then, okay, that's just some stuff I, as a player, wanted to know about.
Yeah.
I think the resource that Karis is very interested in is the catnip, the leaf that we found. So I'm gonna go ask for help from Ferrari. To go and find
cultivating that on the ship.
All
Get a little hot box.
Well, and whatever else.
Victorian hot box.
It's generally herbs, but especially that one.
So so with Ferrari, we'll have you he will make an herbalism check to see if he can get a hydroponic herb set up for you. That's a 12, and with advantage, because you're helping. That's a 2, so that's a 12 plus 6, that's an 18. You're able to get like a modest planter. Like
Nice.
you can get a little nip from time to time,
Okay.
but you're not rolling in it, but you're able to get a huff.
Yeah, I mean, do we find any just like useful herbs to bring with us or anything like that?
You would so you'll find like herbs sufficient for like medicine and for cooking, but you
That's
won't
very
find.
exciting.
But you won't find any, like, you'll find enough to, like, get, like, a healer's kit together.
And also spices.
And spices.
We're going to be so much happier. All right, I'm done with my resource gathering.
Anything else?
Yes, so Kendall would ask for potions of healing to be sent over. As we don't have a huge capability for healing amongst us. And he is concerned about his friends.
Okay.
He also would ask them to please consult his house about a certain symbol that the giants have been carrying around, which does not seem to be connected to the weave in any way. And he would do his best to draw it and relate what colors go where.
So as you draw that in, they will say, like, we will put this under, we will talk to House Silverspear about this. You will, then, so that the fourth day will come, the day when the teleportation is supposed to be attempted.
Mm-hmm.
And you get, who all would be around for this? Would you call everyone in to be like, we're trying?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody who's interested can come.
So you're all being summoned. Hopefully this is going to be a portal that may get you back to the Ethereal Isles, or it may mean help coming here. On that day, the portal opens, and first it seems to be kind of cackling, it seems to be like fraying around the edges,
Crackling.
And is that a drink? Molly said crackling, and as a bag starts to go through, and as this bag goes through, you feel that ripple again. And the bag gets cut in half. So you are able to recover like 2 health potions from it. But it seems that, and you feel this big disruption as the runes resonate with the energy to prevent the magic from going off.
Kendall deeply sighs and then goes, well, I'm glad I told them not to send anybody.
Should we try again on the Mergoblin Isle?
Well, the Mergoblin Isle was where I first felt this.
But it's not invisible. It doesn't have the protective bubble situation.
I do not think this has anything to do with the protective bubble.
Also, it's not invisible anymore, so if that was it, it's gone now.
I do not think that the ripples that we are feeling has anything to do with the magic that was protecting this island.
Yeah, I know. I was saying that because the fact that we can see this island now means that even if it did, that's gone now. So, right. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't think it would be safe to ask someone to teleport over here to help us out.
Well, no. I mean, you could start by sending things. I don't know.
Because that's what they did.
Well, but
I have 2 potions of healing now.
So,
I imagine they were trying to send more than 2.
As you get through this period, at the end, the 4th day ends, and the 5th day comes. The ship is mostly ready. You all go check in for a last night. The Faradians and she will come over with the healer's kit and the spices, and will provide each of you with a flask of acid and a flask of alchemist fire, to bring to whatever you do. So then the question I put to you, the Concord Nilamananji, where are you going to go next?
All right, let's argue.
It's called a debate, but glad to know you're just fired up, Karis.
Karis didn't say that. I said that. You would have been able to tell.
Odd probably wants to go to Uta.
Uta-no-O? You don't think Odd wants to go to Tirargud and follow the dragon eggs?
I thought the dragon eggs were. I thought there was a reason we couldn't go to Tirargud. Yeah, I think Tirargud is going to be like end destination.
It is definitely the homeland of the giants, but we were there like a month ago and it was fine. I mean, it was a little tense, but it was fine.
I understand.
That's
your
probably
sentiment
what he
on
would
it
argue
being the
for.
Final. I do understand your sentiment for that being the final location.
But that's a
What is
Scarlet.
the reasoning for
Odd
going
would
to the
probably
other
want to
place?
go. That's where Mbatra is.
Uta-no-O?
Here's a
And
question: are we
as far
arguing
as
this in characterly, or are we arguing it?
No, let's
Arguing
argue in
it-
character.
It's in character.
Well,
I'm just
I'm trying
reminding
to
people of
reason
things.
out things first and figure out where my character would, what my character would feel
We need
about.
to know things that our
Sure.
characters would know.
So Mbatra is remind me what we know about Mbatra.
Batra, there was only supposed to be one of you, and Batra was supposed to be the only one.
So they maybe an elf working with the giants is what we're maybe picking up.
Yep. He was they were dispatched to Uta-no-O to make relations with the Mithril Elves, who you know to be kind of more Eladrin Fae influence elves compared to those on the Ethereal Isles. So, Odd would be right at home, sort of rapidly shifting seasons as he does, leaves growing out of his messy blonde hair.
And then the Withering Archipelago is where the Dragonkin are.
The Withering Archipelago is where a lot of the treasure went, as well as some of the Dragonkin.
Because pirates.
And that's where
Pirates.
there be pirates.
Do we have any idea where the Ruby Dragon would be? We know that they're next.
Not from what we've gathered so far.
No one here knows.
Zeosug would have been able to tell you, but
Zeosug really
was there did Zeosug keep a journal?
Zeosug
or any sort of records?
Okay. So I think the way I see it is this: we can either go after this person who honestly sounds like they were a traitor of some kind, because we were supposed to not be able to even get here. This Batra. We could go after that person. We could go after the Dragonkin that were taken, or we could go after the Dragon X.
Why do we have to follow one of those ships? Couldn't we just go somewhere safe?
Or we could go back to the Ethereal Isles and pretend this never happened and just go about our lives. This is also an option, I suppose.
I mean, we have to,
You really put forth that effort to do a rescue mission and everything. I'm genuinely surprised at that suggestion from you, honestly.
We're just a few people. What can we do? But if we go home, we can get a whole group of, I don't know, it's not our job to save the world or whatever.
It's kind of a little bit, actually. Yeah, I read a lot of books. I'm a big fan of like romance novels. But I tell you, adventure. A lot of the bards write about this. This is pretty much how this starts. This is always going to be small
real life, not a song.
Oh, real life is like where the
Well,
bards get all of their stories. Where do you think they just shit them out?
Do you think
of,
they
like,
just
nowhere?
keep them
PG-13.
perfectly without changing them at all?
I do not.
They make things like sound more interesting, but I just am surprised that you suddenly want to run away. I just wasn't.
I do not think that we are heroes necessarily, but we are scouts. And scouts need to get information. And there are 3 sources of information that we can pursue. We can pursue dragon eggs, we can pursue dragonkin, we can pursue Umbatra. What do we think that we will get the most information out of, since that is essentially what our role is?
The ripple in this. So this all on the table. On the eve of the 4th night, coming through, will be a distinctly more flouncy handwriting. One that's familiar to you, a mentor's handwriting. And coming through, say, ships will be there within a month. While we make our way, there are the elves of Ateneo are renowned for their smith work and may provide us with great help as we come down to figure out what's going on and drive these giants away from whatever's going on. Or the Withering Archipelago, the pirates there hold artifacts of great power. Maybe we could win them or defeat them or win over their favor and some of their powerful artifacts.
Kendall is going to relay this to the rest of you guys, what he's gotten from the journal, from his mentor. So honestly, there are 3 paths in front of us, 2 of which are recommended by my mentor. The 3rd one is the giant's homeland. And I speak giant, but I don't know what I would say to them.
Elin at this point has got her like head in her hands, like she's got a thinking face, and then like a profound sense of just emanating hatred at herself for what she's about to say. She's like, okay. All right. To Kendall, to your point, if we want to get the most information to be in the scouts that we're supposed to be, it's probably going to make the most sense to go to the Withering Archipelago, because if you need information, you got to traffic it through people who generally use it for the purposes of trade. And that's what you find in the pirates' lair, because to your point, I've been investigating some of the documents that I have collected, and I've got a generally strong suspicion that there's probably, I don't know, like a group maybe of very powerful people pulling some strings.
You just want to see the cool pirates from your books.
I don't like pirates more than I like romance, Karis, alright, okay? I'd rather see the barbarian dragging off the lady into the woods than going off into the sea for a bubbly, alright? Let's just get that straight first of all. And now, back to the point, because we're not talking about romance novels. I'm still waiting for the next book with this series that I love. And if you want to read it, I will let you know about it later, but not right now, because that's not the point. Anyways, what I'm saying is, if we need more information, there's that. You also asked about a red dragon, didn't you? Didn't you ask about red dragons?
Yeah, the ruby dragon is next, and it would be very good to know where the ruby dragon is, because we would want to warn them.
Are rumors true about red dragons and how they really like to protect like their hordes? Is that
Well, I would assume any dragon would want to protect their horde, but we don't honestly know that much about them.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is it a true rumor? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking for a big hoard of money, you're going to find it on the Withering Archipelago.
I mean, we do have Dragonkin. We can ask about dragon habits. They lived with one their entire lives.
I like to assume they might not not to call forth any of your backgrounds, but last I checked, not a lot of you know all about where you're from either. Do you?
I just don't see how we
I'm
can,
sure
in
they
good
will know
conscience,
more than-
not go after the babies.
Well, okay, so in good conscience, the babies are in the giant homeland, yes?
Yes.
As far as we know?
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
What exactly would you have me say in giant, to the giants, about these babies?
Well, I can talk in giant too, but to
Well,
that
what
point.
would you say in giant to these giants
them
about
back.
the babies?
Give
Well,
the
that's the
babies
thing.
back.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I was going on your trail, Kendall. Actually, I was agreeing about getting them more information
Yeah.
because we got to figure out why. A lot of the whys.
A lot
What
of the guys.
what could you trade for a dragonkin baby if they want them so bad? What could you do that
Could
would
you
make them
trade
want
for
them less?
this egg? Yeah.
Exactly.
You
That's
talk
why
about being a scout. Why don't we just sneak in and steal the babies back?
scouting is with their eyes, not with
They're
their
taller
hands.
than we are.
So
That's-
I am
that's-
a
We'd be able to
scout.
You're
sneak
talking about
around their legs
skullduggery.
really easily.
Audrey, you're
I
talking
did
about
not know that.
skullduggery. That's not scouting.
Not
That's the wrong
giants,
S word.
the eggs are taller than us.
Cut
Skullduggery
burglary
was something I
and
can't carry.
scouting.
Skullduggery,
Cut burglary
scouting.
scouting.
One of those is very illegal technically for us. So none of us should really know that skill that well, Audible, right?
You know what else is illegal? Baby stealing.
Yes, that's what we got to figure out how to get back.
Okay,
So-
look. Pirates, giants. Let's just
Is
go.
there more pirates on the
Let me-
Withering Archipelago?
Okay.
Can
Just
I think
Alright.
that you're in there going,
pirates
"Hey,
and
pirates,
other,
they're gonna
giants
get
and
stabbed.
other.
You're going to get stabbed.
We could go to Utano, where we can easily resupply and, feel safe potentially. And look, figure out if my theory about Butcher is true.
Do you all feel really comfortable around the Eladrin?
You say there, sitting next to
I
Odd,
look at Odd.
who's like shifting quickly from like red to green to blue.
Is that
You feel like a slight chill around him as the smoke shifts from smoke to like a cold winter mist.
My face is just a veil of nothingness as I watch and wait for Audrey to answer that question.
Well, I was supposed to go on
Yeah.
an expedition and meet these, what are they called? The
Mithril
wild
elves.
indigenous population?
Oh,
elves?
never mind.
Mithril?
The Mithril Elves, yeah.
Yeah,
Mithril.
yes.
I was supposed to go and meet the Mithril elves on a scouting mission, on a diplomatic mission a few years
Mhm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't end up making it there, but I do feel comfortable with the land. I have a pretty good background on it. I think we could probably form an alliance, maybe stock up,
But
get
just
some
can you
weapons.
rewind? Could you just rewind a little bit? I'm going to backtrack. Just two sentences there. You said you're comfortable with the land. What about the people?
Well, theoretically, I'm comfortable with some of their indigenous practices and the foods that they consume.
Do they speak a
and-
dialect?
They probably.
Yeah,
Do you know it?
Maybe. You don't know
Yeah.
if I know it or
I
not.
do.
So Karis knows it.
Karis knows
Actually-
it. There you go.
If I'm being honest.
Odd, why are you being so cagey about
Me-
this? It's
meeting-
a simple question.
I just, I think this is a bad call. I think we should just go and try and get the babies back. We were entrusted with this mission, and it kind of feels like we're dropping the ball, is all I'm saying.
Right.
What mission were we entrusted with? Who told us
I
we
was
need to go
sent-
get dragon eggs?
The
is a suicide
Emerald
mission.
Looked
Dragon
over a little
spoke
bit.
to
I'm going to
me.
sit next to Kendall on the opposite side of whatever metaphorical table we're at. And I'm just going to stare. Because all of a sudden it feels like Kendall's on my side here.
The Emerald Dragon spoke to me and told me that the world was falling apart and that we had to work together to prevent this disaster. And I am just trying to do what they told me.
Prevent
Okay.
Right. So okay. Let's take that information. You are told prevent the disaster. Yes.
What he says. What he said. Yeah.
You are told prevent the disaster. What
Yeah.
is the disaster?
Yeah. What he said.
What is
Well-
it, Odd?
I don't know, but I mean, probably.
Neither do I.
with
And
the
neither
eggs.
does I.
Dealing, what if, you know, the skullduggery with the eggs? You know, like to Kendall's point, in a more calmer fashion, skullduggery around these eggs might cause a big problem, a disaster of sorts, if we did it without the proper, you know, knowledge.
You can't
We
go
know.
in blind. Okay, imagine this, if you will. Imagine that they're using the eggs for some kind of potent magic. They are doing all kinds of magics that I do not understand, that do not seem to be interacting with the Vive in any way. And for some reason, the dragons are important to them.
Exactly. The longer we leave the eggs in their care,
If
the more likely they are to be
they
all.
know that we
What
know
is it?
that they have this important magical thing,
They won't
will
harm
they
them.
immediately use it so that it will not be taken from them?
Good point. Then they wouldn't immediately harm them. They're actually probably safer for a while.
I
If
mean,
they know that these things aren't going to be, no one's coming after them,
if we
then
look
it's not so
at
urgent to use it right
clear
away.
evidence of the last sacrifices that were made from the dragon kin, the eggs are not safe.
Here's some clear
Well,
evidence.
obviously the eggs are not safe. But
I've got
neither are
clear
the eggs of
evidence.
any other dragon. And there is still the ruby dragon out there.
Yeah.
We do not know what other dragons there are out there. We do not know why they are needed. We do not know what kind of magic this is. We cannot go in blind on.
Fine.
Yeah.
You guys want to go, he's going to throw his arms up in the air. If you guys want to go caravanning around with a bunch of smelly pirates instead of doing the right thing, that's none of my concern. And then he's just going to stomp
dear.
off down the
Oh,
beach and sit
dear.
down.
Oh, that's
All
a
right.
very interesting way of seeing the world.
Why is it all pirates? There are pirates. They're not all pirates.
And I'm not really going for the pirates. I'm going for whatever information we can find.
Well, we at least
possibly-
know that Karis apparently can speak Mithril. I
So
don't
there's
know
that,
to what
yes.
extent, but
But I do think the Withering Archipelago, because also that's where the majority of the dragonkin that were captured went. And maybe
just
somebody knows. Maybe somebody knows where the
my
ruby
face
dragon
every
is.
time we say Withering Archipelago just looks like hateful, but I'm agreeing with you every time.
I
It's like,
feel
yeah.
like if anyone is going to have useful information that we can get, it's going to be Mbatra. And the thing about them is that, you know, if we go to the Withering Archipelago, who knows if we're going to find anyone who knows anything, where they're going to be. Mbatra's sent there on a diplomatic mission.
Know?
So,
how did you know, real quick? How are you sure that Mbatra themselves went back to there? Are you sure? They for sure they went back to know.
If we trust our
We
friends,
know they're from there, but did they?
no,
definitely
we know they were
go
sent
back?
there. They were sent
No,
there on
they're
a
not from there.
diplomatic
They're
mission.
going there.
Yeah. Okay. So they're definitely going back there, right?
They're going there.
They have been sent. So what you don't know if they're from there. You don't know where they're from.
Yeah.
You know that they were the only one that was supposed to survive in reference to you. You know that they are that they were sent to try to negotiate with the Mithril elves to arm the giants.
All right. So we are
Right.
definitely sure that Mbatra's going.
Yes.
There.
My
Right.
point
got it.
is,
You know.
they're going to have to be public. They're going to have to reveal themselves if they're going to be there diplomatically. Whereas, who knows how much where the giants are going to hide, or where they'll take the other prisoners.
I really don't know their policies, but let's say, for example, we know Mbatra is that person, but I don't know what the Mithril elves think is coming, or know is coming, for that matter. They could make themselves look like a Mithril elf, and then just present themselves as, "Hi, I don't know, Kerosina of the blah blah blah, and I'm here to make an alliance with the giants," because the person is a shapeshifter. We can't identify them.
No, we can
You see what I'm
identify
saying?
them because they're the one trying to make an alliance on behalf of the giants.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're not smart enough to bring red herrings with them. That's what people do.
We can just figure it out. It can just be another mystery. We can find clues.
God
That's
is gonna
the thing
shout
that
over.
Kendall and I are saying, as much as I hate it. I think that we find this information technically from a bunch of people that you keep calling pirates on a place called the Withering Archipelago. You bargain
Todd
for
is gonna
information.
Scream over from his spot on the beach where he's been covertly listening in and pretending really hard that he's not. I agree with Karis. We can't afford to let the Mithril elves be swayed by this super faker Batra guy.
That's the thing. You know, we might actually be able to even bargain for, like, I don't know, an alliance ship of people to come help us.
Yeah, we can do the same thing at Atuna'o, except that it can be an alliance.
Except it's an alliance with the people who are trying to make an alliance with the giants. We just almost got ours.
Because we do not know that they are.
3 times.
We do not know that they are actually open to an alliance with the giants.
Even if they are,
they might not even be open to us as people. At least we know if we go to the archipelago, they're actually more open with people coming that have cash.
I can promise you that they'll be open to us.
Do you have cash?
Right?
Just checking.
Yeah.
Do you have cash?
What cash?
Is
money
that something that Aelin has squirreled away?
Aelin just keeps going. She's not saying anything right now. She's like, anyways, the point
I can personally assure you that we'll be welcomed there.
And how can you assure us? You're doing what Oddball did. I'm gonna release Kendall on you again if you don't start talking.
Look, I just don't.
How can you assure us that we will be welcome?
People there know me.
Let me just say, when people know you,
God is gonna
place, it doesn't necessarily
closer.
mean that's a good thing. People
Well,
knowing you
I don't know
might not be
if
a good
I
thing.
feel like it's a good thing, but I'm pretty sure they do, so it should be fine.
Why do they feel like it's a good thing? I mean, I could go to a place and I can think of a lot of people that would be like, yeah, it's a good thing they're coming. And I might not agree with them. I might not agree.
Okay, so I guess I haven't really spoken about it. So you're really gonna make me bear my life story right now in the middle of this argument.
Well, I'm not asking you to bear your life story. I just want an explanation about why we would be welcome.
We're having a debate here.
Life story.
Odd wants you to bear your life stories. The rest of us can go without if it's uncomfortable.
You two appear to have something going on with it to know, and I think it's okay to tell us at least enough to trust that we could go there and it would be fine.
My dad at home is a high elf, but my father, who's not around, was from there.
It's no.
Yeah.
So you have family members.
Are you trying to find your father?
No.
Does your father want you to find them?
I don't know. Probably not, I guess.
This is not to be offensive, Karis, because it seems like a sensitive subject. But
you think?
there any reason that if we go there and your father knew you, they would be upset you were there?
I mean, they didn't exactly leave on bad terms. I don't know.
Do you think you would be able to convince them not to ally with the giants?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to make you explain the rest of your family story, but you do realize this is a very sensitive thing in many directions because it is a familial connection.
Look, I can definitely try. Okay.
I'm not asking you to try. I'm asking you to be sure that you want to even talk to this person.
Aelin.
This is your family. Hey, hold on, Kendall. This is Karis' family. This is a very sensitive thing. Now, I am a very familiar person with people trying to use familial connections in the world of scouting and secrecy.
I think we should go to Atenaro. I think we should see the Eladrin Mithril people.
I get that, but now I'm very concerned for Karis if they are absolutely positive they want to go to a place where this person could be because this is their family.
They volunteered it.
Because of the mission, not because of their family. If they thought about it, are they sure?
I'll go think about it right now. How about that?
Okay, roll.
I would like you to be sure. Yeah, I would like you to be sure. And like while they're doing that, walk on the beach.
So
she's doing that walk on the beach. I'm gonna turn to Kendall and be like, "Listen, all right, if we go, and then like Karis suddenly decides that she just feckin' hates this gentleman, this could go really bad for us, Kendall. I need Karis to be sure.
Right, but you made a good point about the fact that the folks in the visiting archipelago will want cash.
Yeah.
I don't have cash on me.
I mean, there's ways to get money. You just gamble it. Yeah, it's just really easy. You just gotta like play some cards and then you'll get money. But it's
Gamble
the point.
is how you lose money.
No, it's not. What? Who told? Okay. Anyways, back to the point. Gambling is how you get money. Anyways, we need to know if Karis can actually do this. I didn't realize that there was a dad and her father. She called it her father. Her father there. This is a very dangerous thing to play with. It's
I
family
understand
things.
what you're saying, but I do trust Karis to make the right decision for herself.
I trust the decision. I just need her to also be in the right mood. She kind of sometimes gets a little ragey, if you hadn't noticed.
I don't think she's ragey. I think if anyone was a little ragey, it was me.
Well, you use your mouth. Karis seems to get like a little aggressive and like physical things happen. You know what I'm saying? She's pretty strong.
I trust Karis to make the right decision, and if we need to, we can plan something for if she makes the wrong decision, then we are there.
We also got a plan for Oddball. I'm not entirely certain that if they see anything that looks remotely similar to a dragon egg, they're not just going to beeline for it and try to snatch it.
Well, we're not going to where the dragon eggs are, so I do not think that will be that much of an issue. If we were going to where the dragon eggs were, then we would have to basically put out on a leash.
Is that a possibility? Can we put a leash on him?
I am not a dog.
No, you're listening. Sorry.
No,
Finally breaks.
The leash was for a child, not for a dog.
Like the slow goading, like trying to
Glaring at you guys.
No, not a dog leash, like a child leash.
Yeah.
You know, when there's a child that gets very excited and likes to run off and go to certain things, we put them on a
we could get one for you. We could get one for Karis. It would be great. You'll have like matching friendship
It's
leashes.
like the most House Silver Spear thing that's ever been said. Oh, children leashes. Everybody had children leashes in House Silver Spear.
They get overexcited.
How else you get track of your kids?
It's for
And
their
it's so
safety.
serious. I'm just egging it on. Like, no, you get my friendship
Your
leashes.
problems.
Yeah.
So we sort of have it seems like Odd is Team Tyr Argid, but seeing that is not popular with the rest of the group is Etunao.
Correct.
We want to dig back into the family of Karis.
And whatever the heck's going on with Audi and their similarities to these mithril elves.
Yeah,
Just because Otis and an Eladrin.
Just because Otis and Eladrin, yes.
Yeah, I know who my parents are.
He's like, I know who my parents are. You don't know who your parents are.
But some of us. No.
Well, well then. Yeah,
we don't even know who your parents are. God.
So we have to hit 3. So
Itano is also where Kendall is leaning because we have an
I thought we were agreeing. Yeah, I think Kendall and Elin are in agreement. They want to make sure that the people that want to do this really want to do it.
Yeah, we're all on board. We just want to make sure Karis is going to be okay.
Right. Yeah. Karis. So you walk down the beach and you look up.
Roll for thinking about it.
You look up at the stars and you look up at the stars and you sort of you feel like you see a couple of the stars twinkling at you and you sort of feel like something that seems to tickle something.
Tickle.
Fireworks, sorry. It's because Western New York. Why not? So that interrupted my brain completely. What was I talking about?
So
the stars. You feel it seems to tickle something in the back of your brain, and you feel like you feel like a little bit of that, like as you sort of were in that heated conversation, you felt that kind of that heat, that summer heat, and now you're sort of coming down into this more cool fall as this cold wind blows past you.
Yeah.
And
yeah, okay. Well, I'll come back. And then what do you say, I guess?
the party.
Yeah, if I show up.
Karis,
Oh.
how do you feel about it?
I think that it's a good idea, and I think that there's a lot of really useful things we can learn there.
Okay, well, if you are sure, then I support this.
I'm sure.
Then I support this.
That is what you said, yes.
Wonderful. So the next day will come. They will make sure that their parting gifts are bestowed. Ernie will come up to Odd and will say, will encourage him to protect this this gem that was gifted to him, and to use its power because it's part of you now.
Kendall will write in the journal where they have decided to go.
Okay.
Before we leave, like on the last night, maybe we can talk about the contents later. But I do want to go talk to Ernie and get his versions of the stories and of the one emerald worm that didn't like it, because Ava said that Ernie would say something different. So I just want to ask him about that. But we can talk about it. What actually what they said later.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the next day comes, you're able to bring the sail up, having made an inset for the Jenkins hands into the mast. You put them back, and the familiar, skilled arcane hands start to move around the deck and get you up and running. 3 or 4 days go by on the high seas. And it starts to feel familiar. You don't have the ball bearings sliding back and forth. And you kind of miss it because it at least kind of kept you grounded for which way was down. But otherwise, it still feels pretty familiar. There's a nice little gardener of catnip there. And I think that's about that. As you using your chart and your navigational skills, you arrive to Eternal.
Okay.
And no, I'm gonna do a little bit of flavor here, so that you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be coming into, and the audience knows what to expect for next time. You see 3 tremendous mountains that break out of this thick, deciduous forest. The trees seem to ripple with an ever shifting gradient of the seasons, and it seems to move across as the wind blows from winter to fall to summer to spring, and it seems to go back and forth like people doing the wave at a World Cup game. As you skirt the coast, you first catch the first thing that catches your eye is the giantling ship that was making its way there, and it seems to be moored in a harbor near a large city. As you make your way, I'm assuming, would you make your way towards this harbor?
Yeah, but probably skirting around the outside, I would imagine.
I think we are going to the harbor, yeah.
I think we're going to the harbor.
So you see a small boat, like a skiff, coming out towards you all, and on the back of it, you see a burly Eladrin coming up, and he'll say, "That's a strange sail. Are you here for Nacio Rahegua?